Okay, good evening, everyone. Today we are asking for the public's help. Over the past several days, there have been multiple stabbings in 2 different Queens precincts. These are senseless, unprovoked attacks, and the NYPD is working around the clock to identify and locate the person responsible and to stop this violence. Our investigators believe that each of these assaults were committed by the same person, and we're here today because somebody knows him. They know his name, they know where he lives, and they know who his friends are. And they know the fastest, safest way to get this menace off of our streets. And we are going to find him, and we're going to do that with your help. Obviously, this person is armed and dangerous, so if you know something or see something related to the case, call the NYPD immediately, either through 911 or by dialing 1-800-577-TIPS. You can also submit a tip online at the Crime Stoppers website. Lastly, I want to thank the members of the media for amplifying this information and getting this important information out. We're stronger when we work together. We're safer when we work together. And together, we will bring this person to justice. Now I'll turn it over to Chief Patrol John Schell, who will go over some of the events.
Good evening. We are here today to make the public aware of 5 stabbing incidents that have occurred within the last 9 days. 3 of them this morning between 7:30 and 8:30. 1 on January 16th past midnight in the Rochdale section of Queens and Jamaica section of Queens, both in the confines of the 113 and the 103 precinct. We have an unidentified individual who's walking around the street randomly stabbing people with a hunting knife. There is no connection to the individuals, and it seems to be unprovoked. The description is following: male, black, light-skinned, in his 20s, 5'6", slim build, braids in his hair, wearing a green jacket and a black hoodie. Sneakers are white Converse and sometimes black and white Adidas. He's wearing a lanyard sometimes and a surgical mask sometimes. The subject, in some cases, tries to make statements to some victims, but they don't understand what he's saying. And in one case, it was a fight, an argument on a bus that went out into the street. The incidents involve 4 males and 1 female. The female is 34 years old. The males range from 36 to 74. The injuries are all non-life-threatening. The times, they've occurred from midnight to 8:30 in the morning. Like I said, 3 this morning were within an hour. We have mobilized many resources from the department, police officers, detectives, to the 113, the 103 precinct, citywide transit, including our buses. We have posted wanted posters on our social media. Like the commissioner said, thank you for the media for amplifying this incident. Community leaders, elected officials, our community affairs units have all been on the street with this poster. Our citywide manhunt will continue 24/7 until he is apprehended. If anyone has seen or knows this individual, please help us take this person off the street and call 1-800-577-TIPS. All calls remain anonymous. And as usual, if you see something, say something, go with your first reaction. I'll now pass to our Chief of Detectives, Joe Kenny.
All right, good evening. I'm going to discuss several incidents where innocent New Yorkers have been stabbed. We have confirmed that 5 of these incidents have taken place in Queens South. There is an additional incident being analyzed that took place on a subway train in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Incident number 1 occurred on Monday, January 8th, 6:20 p.m. in the evening in the confines of the 113 precinct. The victim is a male, Hispanic, 61 years old. He is stabbed 1 time in his lower back. Our investigation shows that the victim was walking by himself eastbound on 137 Avenue. This is a residential neighborhood. As the victim reaches the intersection of 137 Avenue and 157 Street, he feels an impact to his lower back, as if he has been punched. The victim quickly realizes that he has been stabbed. Luckily, a Good Samaritan is there to call 911, and the victim is removed to Jamaica Hospital, where he is treated for a puncture wound to his right kidney. The perpetrator is described as a slim male black in his 20s, wearing a hooded jacket with braids. In this incident, the suspect actually laughed in the victim's face after he stabbed him. Incident number 2 occurs a week later, once again in the confines of the 113 precinct. On Tuesday, January 16th, 5 minutes after midnight, at 134 Avenue and 158 Street. Our victim, who is a female black, 34 years old, was returning home from work when she got off the bus at Guy Brewer Boulevard and 134 Avenue in a commercial district. As she was walking, a male suddenly ran up behind her, and she describes being punched in the back, but she soon realizes that she is stabbed in her right side. The perpetrator flees to 134 Avenue. The victim once again is described as a male black in his 20s, wearing a hooded jacket, and appeared to be talking to himself. Detectives quickly conduct a video canvass where they find video at a commercial establishment minutes after the stabbing, showing the suspect holding a hunting knife, stabbing the front window of a bodega, wearing the same clothes as described in the other incidents. Incidents 3 and 4 occur on Wednesday, January 17th at 7:29 and 7:35 a.m. We have 2 separate stabbing incidents that occur in the confines of the 113 precinct back to back. At 161-05-134 Avenue, our victim is a male black, 74 years old, who was escorting his wife to work. As he and his wife are walking on 134 Avenue, a male black, slim build, wearing a hooded jacket, runs up behind the couple. Without saying a word, he stabs the male 1 time in his back. The suspect then runs to 161 Street, where he encounters our next victim, who is a male black, 41 years old, who simply left his residence to move his car to a legal parking spot. Our suspect, once again, matching the description from our other incidents, approaches the victim without saying a word and stabs him 1 time in his abdomen. Both victims are removed to Jamaica Hospital and will survive their injuries. Our last incident occurs 25 minutes later in the confines of the 103rd Precinct in Jamaica, Queens. It happens on Parsons Boulevard and Archer Avenue. In this incident, our victim is a male black, 36 years old, on his way to work. He gets on an MTA bus at Guy Brewer Boulevard and 115th Avenue. He's riding on the bus northbound when he becomes involved in a verbal dispute with our eventual perpetrator, who fits the description from the other 4 incidents. This argument is over a seat on the bus. Both the perpetrator and the victim exit the bus at Parsons Boulevard and Archer Avenue when the perpetrator suddenly stabs the victim 1 time, then flees on foot. These are all the incidents that have occurred in Queens. We have confirmed that the perpetrator in all of these incidents is connected, but we are also looking at an additional stabbing that occurred on a northbound J train in the confines of the 90 precinct in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, where we have one male is stabbed and the perpetrator fits the description, but we're not willing to commit to it being part of this pattern as of yet. So thankfully, all of these victims are going to survive their injuries. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Josh. I actually have 2 questions. One for you, the fact that this is accelerating, pretty obviously. There was 1 9 days ago, and then 1 yesterday, and 3 today. And then most of them seem to be, not any discussion whatsoever. What message does that send to your team, and what do you take from that in terms of the urgency?
Well, the urgency is that we've built a team. I currently have close to 75 detectives working on this incident, both in Queens South and in Brooklyn North. We're pulling assets from every unit in the Detective Bureau. Chief Shell can go into the patrol assets that are being used, but we're taking this very seriously, and it's all hands on deck right now.
And Chief, I don't know if you want to address that, but my other question had to do with just the response mobilization, specifically in the subway. You know, all across Manhattan, from the Circle, very visible places. Is there a specific reason why those locations are being searched, or is it just kind of throughout the system?
Right, for the two locations, the 113 and 103 precincts, obvious, we surge. We have many mobilizations going on today, mobilizing cops on foot, in corridors, our community affairs, our aviation. And there were some incidents in transit that Chief Kenny talked about, so we wanted to flood transit with a level 3 mobilization. Each borough supplied cops. We surged the system, platforms and moving trains, giving out the pictures, the presence. That posture is going to remain 24/7 until this person is apprehended.
Rocco?
Chief, the argument on the bus, who has to see who wants it, and in the other instances in which he has said something, has it been nonsensical or just too low to hear?
The incident on the bus, our victim is on the bus, gets on the bus at 115th Avenue. The perpetrator is already on the bus. Our victim asks the victim, "Can I sit down next to you?" And he agrees. They sit down. At some point during the trip, other seats on the bus become available, and the perpetrator asks them, "Okay, there's free seats now. You can move away from me." And the victim declines to move, and that starts the fight.
And when he speaks in other instances, is it nonsensical or just too low?
The only other incident where we have is the second incident where the female was stabbed on the 16th, where she describes him speaking gibberish to himself.
And Nancy, what does the lanyard mean?
We're looking into that. We're looking to see the possibility. Is it identification to get into a building? Is it employment identification? That lanyard is seen on the second incident today in the 113 precinct and in the incident in the 103 precinct.
You describe it as that letter?
It's the same lanyard you're wearing right there. We can't really see, but it's similar to what you're wearing right there.
I just had a question, Chief, about as he's roaming the streets right now, the times wearing the mask, not displaying that night until the last minute. What do you have to tell New Yorkers, who are walking these streets sometimes with headphones on buses that are minding their own business? What's your message out to them? What's your recommendation?
Our recommendation is to be aware of your surroundings. Go about your business, be aware of your surroundings, and if you see something, say something. In terms of the police department, for the next, however long it takes, you'll see cops on foot, on main corridors, at transit hubs, in cars. You'll see aviation up. Our social media pages, we're putting out information as it comes through. Our DOE is notified. Our schools are all notified. They all have the pictures. So it's school dismissal, school arrival tomorrow. So we have a heavy presence in the street, and will remain that way, and we take this person off the streets.
CNN?
Hey, guys, two quick questions. One was, do we know yet, using the surveillance videos, what his whereabouts were, like how far back, like before these attacks happened? Do we know yet where he was or what he was doing before then, able to go back? And another one is on statistics. Do we have any numbers available about, so far for this year, or how it compares to other years or other years prior, about stranger attacks that have happened in the city?
As far as the video, where he was prior and post, he's right there in that vicinity in the Rochdale area. He seems to be right there on 134 Avenue, and we know that in the main corridor going up to the 103 precinct northbound would be Guy Brewer Avenue. So he is right there in that area. All these attacks took place within blocks of each other. We feel that he is going to return to that area, and that's why we're saturating it with the posters and with police officers.
Any idea if he's wants to homeless shelters?
That's what we're looking into. That speaks to the possibility of the lanyard. Is he part of is he in the shelter, or is he does he work at the airport? We're looking into all these avenues. And as far as the statistics go, for felony assaults, last year we were up slightly. This year we're down.
John?
Chief, is technology being deployed? Any hits on any use of facial recognition?
Unfortunately, during the course of our investigation, we've located many sources of video, but the way he's hooded up and with the mask on, we submitted several images for facial recognition, but they came back negative.
Josh?
Just to be specific about the past, stranger or random incidents, not not just about statistically the felony assault. I'm just curious, are there, aside from the incident in Williamsburg, looking back, I don't know, however far you can go back, are there any cases that fit this description that you isolated? Or only other one, this Brooklyn J train exhibit?
We're looking at every stabbing that's taken place. Obviously, we look at every stabbing that occurs daily, but we've gone back, and as of right now, these 5 incidents in Queens fit. We looked at another incident that took place at 59th Street and Columbus Avenue on a D train. We've dismissed that one, although we are still working that case. It does not fit this incident, and we're narrowing down on whether or not we feel the incident in the 9-0 precinct is connected to this one.
When was that? I'm sorry, when was that incident?
That incident was today at 9:20 in the morning.
Chief, if he paid with his Metro card on the bus, are you tracing it, or did he sneak on up and cash it?
We're looking through that right now. We're pulling video from every bus that was running up northbound on Guy Brewer to see if we can pull video of him waiting for the bus, walking toward the bus, and we're also pulling the video from that bus.
Could you say where the bodega is, where you stepped?
It's on Guy Brewer.
Right
Yes.
And is he ambushing these people, or is he stopping them? What's the-
In some of the incidents, he's walking behind them for quite a distance. In other incidents, he's just coming across them and stabbing them.
But they're random.
Very random, not a word is said, totally unprovoked.
All right, thanks, everybody.